David Murphy.
Hey Doc, can you just talk us through your decision-making process over the last 24 hours, specifically with regards to Tyrese, and just kind of what did you see and what did you talk through with your coaches, and why did you go with what you went with tonight?
I've been saying it for 2 games. The first 2 games I thought he struggled. They game planned him. He's young. You could tell he didn't know what to do. They were taking him away from the basket. We showed him a bunch of film. I talked to him this morning. I told him you're going to be. I lied because I said you're going to be the first guy off the bench tonight. We were going to go with a different lineup, but then the fouls killed us actually early on. And we also told him down the stretch of the game we're going to need him on the floor with Ben because we needed the ball handler. If Ben brings it up, they would foul, even under 2, because he would have the ball. So by putting it in Tyrese's hand and making Ben a picker, it allowed Ben to stay on the floor and allowed us to still run our offense. So it worked out for us.
Obviously we don't see him behind the scenes. When we talk to him, he's very, upbeat and confident. What did you see when you told him that?
He's ready. Tyrese is ready. And, the whole thing with Tyrese, and he did a phenomenal job. I actually thought, other than Ben, Tyrese did the best job on Trey because of his speed. And that was one of the things we talked about. The kid, I keep talking about him. He has struggled in a lot of ways defensively this year. But he keeps working. He keeps watching film with Sam. And I thought tonight was probably, I know everyone's going to give him shine about the offense, but I thought this was his single best defensive night of the season for him. Just really proud of him.
Mike Harlan.
Hey, Coach, what did you make of Seth's night? Just really kind of seemed like in the first half he was huge for you guys, just in terms of keeping you guys afloat a little bit. Him and Tobias, really.
Yeah, I tell you, we had Joel with fouls and tired, Ben in foul trouble. Tobias got the 2 early fouls, and in some ways it may have helped because then he came back in and he was really fresh. We were struggling to get points, and I thought Tobias and Seth kept us afloat. And I thought George Hill, tonight, like defensively and all the little things he did tonight, I thought was terrific as well.
And was there anything you kind of said to the team at halftime? Because it kind of seemed like there was more offensive flow. It just seemed a little bit in the second half compared to what it was at the start of the game.
I just thought that we blew a bunch of fast breaks after misses. Now, the difference was, if you remember, Ben was off the floor because he was in foul trouble, and Ben is usually the guy that leads that break. And we talked about it at halftime. Guys, if we get stops, and if we can get the ball to Ben early, and we run the floor, we can get a bunch of threes up or layups, and that's exactly what happened, so that was good.
Thanks, Coach.
John Clark.
Hey, Doc, sorry about that. After the game, we saw your moment there with Joel Embiid, and I think that may have been one of your most expressive moments there. What did you tell Joel in that moment?
I told him we'd win, and I just said, I told you. That was it. I just kept saying that because, these guys are young, man. They need to believe that. And, I didn't know if they did or didn't. I thought they did. You can tell in the way they played. But we have another game. And so it was more about getting his head ready for the next game. And that's what I talked about. I said, hey, I told you, but we're not done, and we're not.
And how huge was that coming out of the locker room to start the half, a 12-0 run?
It was huge.
Joel with the threes.
It was huge, threes from everyone, defensive stops. And then listen, this Atlanta team, they just shoot the ball so darn well. They're never out of a game. They're just not. There's no lead safe with them. They're shooting, and not to the level of Golden State, but they remind you of that. Like, there's just too many guys that can shoot on their team. And the 3 ball is the reason teams come back, and they're set for that. So no lead is safe with this team.
Dave McMenamin.
Doc, the way games 4 and 5 went, where you guys had the double-digit lead, the Hawks made the comeback. What did it say about your guys' character tonight to fall down 12 early and keep fighting.
Yeah, you know, they just hung in there. And you're right. Like, you lose 2 leads. The lead the other night was just such a tough loss. And for them to jump on us, which honestly I anticipated, you knew they were going to come out sky high. And I just really believed if we could weather the storm, you know, a lot of energy would be spent. And I thought from that point on, we controlled the game.
All right, we have time for 2 more. We'll start with Lauren Rosen.
Hey, Doc, I think that those of us that have been around Tobias for a while, or like you in the past, weren't necessarily surprised to see him bounce back the way that he did tonight between game 5 and game 6. But even if you're not surprised, can you speak a little on the significance of
Yeah,
back?
not surprised. We really showed him a lot of film on the ways to go at guys, quick decision. I thought the last 2 games he had gotten back into that old, you know, sluggish, hold the ball. Tonight, it was quick. It was attacks, it was downhill. That's who he is. And when he gets to that, and I keep telling them Bernard King. I don't know how many more times I can use that name to him because that's who he plays like, you know, and that's who we want him to be.
Final question, we'll go to Paul Hudry.
Hey, Doc, I know you just said that you like the idea of Tyrese and Ben playing together to use Ben as a screener, but did you think that playing Tyrese for that extended stretch with Joel and Seth maybe gave him, you know, some more lanes for drives and maybe allowed him to use his speed a little bit?
Oh, no doubt. You know, we knew that. We were going to put him in for Ben anyway, you know, though we did it earlier than we wanted to with the fouls, obviously. And then we wanted to put as much shooting on the floor. That's why Maxey didn't play a lot. Matisse didn't play a lot tonight because we needed space. We just wanted to create space for either Tyrese to go downhill or they help and we throw it back and we get threes. So it worked out pretty well.
Thanks, Doc.
All right. Take care, guys.